but you want to have people that are further ahead of you and that are in your circle. You don't necessarily need to be best friends with them, but they're in your circle and they motivate you, they give you ideas, they give you inspiration to drive you further. So for me, for example, I met this guy at the gym and he's got a Lamborghini. I saw him outside the day before and I thought, oh, like, what's he doing to have a Lamborghini? What must he be doing? So I thought the next time I see him, I'm going up to him in the gym, I'm going to speak to him, ask him what he's doing, like see if I can get any tips from it, any inspiration, any ideas, like boggled in my mind. And I went up to him the next day and I was like, hey mate, like, sorry to interrupt your workout, but I saw you get into your car today. I was just like, what do you do to be able to afford like that lifestyle and be able to afford a Lamborghini and those kind of things? And he's like, so I do property management and property development. So what he does is basically buys houses, refurbishes them. So let's say he buys a 100 grand house, puts like 20 grand of work into it, it's instantly worth 150, 175,000. So that's what he does. And he said to me, he doesn't ever sell them, but he holds them and just rents them out.
Do us a quick favor, guys, hit the follow, subscribe button, share this with someone who would benefit from it, and help us grow, as the more we grow, the better the episodes we'll get. Thanks guys for helping us, and let's get into the episode.
Welcome back to the SCULPTED podcast, and today is an episode with just me, Liam. No Nick today, unfortunately. He had some personal and family matters he had to take care of, so unfortunately Nick can't hop on the pod today, but I'm going to be taking it. This is my first solo SCULPTED podcast episode. I've got a few topics I want to talk about, and I'm really excited, to be honest, to talk about and kind of document, because I've got some exciting things over the next 1 to 2 months. Both Nick and I do, especially if he comes over here, but we'll speak about that in a minute. But yeah, honestly, really exciting times at the moment. Tiring, but exciting. So yeah, the intro is just talking about how things are going currently, and then I've got a few topics that are going to be really impactful for you guys, and I really do find that you're going to see a lot of benefit from them and get a lot of value out of these topics. So the first topic I wanted to cover was just kind of how my week's been going this week. So over the last week, I've signed up for a 100-kilometer ultramarathon. So if you don't know what that is, basically anything over 42.2, which is a marathon kilometers, is classed as an ultra or an ultramarathon. I signed up for a 100-kilometer ultramarathon because I've always had in my mind that's something I wanted to do, whether it was 100 kilometers or 100 miles, whatever. That is always something that I've kind of looked to achieve, and I thought, oh, I can do something like that in my life. Now that I've finished kind of football, which I'll speak about in a minute, is another topic transitioning. But now that I've finished football, I can do that. So this week for me has been really about training, getting prepared, obviously working on the businesses at the same time. Trying to manage those is very hard. So I've been getting up at 4 a.m. to get my training in, and then manage my days. So with the businesses, this morning I did a 30k run, which took me about 3 hours, just over 3 hours. I'm trying to run at a slower pace, so I'm trying to run it around a 6-minute 30 pace, 6-minute 15, because that's what I'm going to be running for the ultra. It's a very hard ultra. There's about 1,700 meters of elevation in the ultra, so definitely have to prepare for these. Trying to do as much hills around here as possible, and it's definitely hard to try and prepare as best as possible because I know there's going to be so much more elevation in that race than I do have here. I could go fly out to somewhere and go to Portugal, go run up the mountains, those kind of things. But I can't afford that right now. So yeah, in today's kind of episode, that's been my week. My week's just been training. I did 20k yesterday, 30k today, gym session on Thursday. So my legs are kind of like DOMs. So today's one, the 30k was tough. I did feel a bit of tightness in my calves, but again, that's 50k. So half of what I did. I basically did that in a 12-hour period as well, because I trained yesterday at 9 a.m. Or 24-hour period. So I trained yesterday at 9 a.m. and then trained this morning at 4 a.m. So basically 24-hour period, did over 50Ks, lower body session Thursday, and then I was training before that doing like 15Ks, 10Ks as well. But that's what my next kind of 2 to 3 weeks are going to be, is literally just getting in mileage in the tank, not overdoing it because I don't want to kind of overdo my training and those kind of things. So with the mileage, I'm going to have to taper it down about 1 to 2 weeks out from the race as well, since I want my legs feeling fresh for 100 Ks. I'm guessing, my guesstimate is going to probably take around, I want to say 12 hours max. So 12 hours max is what I'm going for. I'm realistically going for about 11 hours, 11 and a half hours is what I'm realistically going for. If I'm hitting 6-minute 30s per kind of kilometer, then 11 and a half hours. But I know with stops as well, because you stop around 7 times in the race, or there's like stop points you can stop at, and I probably will stop at like 6 of them. I'll try probably like, I might just grab a snack from like the 7th and just try and push through it. But I do want to manage my legs as well, make sure I'm getting kind of cream on there and those kind of things as well, because at the end of the day, I 100 kilometers is very far. I've never run over kind of 42.2 kilometers. So I did a marathon last week. So actually thinking about it, last week I did the marathon, and that was today, last week. So in the week I've probably done over like, I want to say I've done over kind of 200 kilometers this week, which is quite a lot. So almost double what I'm going to be running. But it's been a good week. Really excited for what is to come. And what is to come, Nick may be coming over. So Nick may be coming over to document everything. Since there are a load of videographers out here in London, basically they do charge quite a lot of money. And I was thinking, oh, well, I could just maybe fly Nick over and get Nick over to film everything. He'd probably be better than him anyway. I love Nick's camera qualities and in the production he's able to get, and the editing style and those kind of things anyway. So I thought, why not try get Nick over? Because I'm going to be the youngest person ever in the UK to run 100 kilometers. So doing this, I really want to document it, show it on my YouTube, have a good kind of episode about it. Even if it gets no views, it'll be good for me. I just look back on in 5-10 years time and just think, wow, that's something I put my mind to and I achieved within 2 months of kind of training. 1 to 2 months. I only trained like a year and a half. I only trained really like a month and a half. Had 3 months away from football, but as soon as I finished football, went in to do a 100-kilometer ultramarathon. Like, kind of mental in a way. But yeah, I'm really excited if I get Nick over, if Nick comes over. We're going to be able to do many different things in regards to filming podcasts together. We're going to be able to film some podcasts. We're going to be able to do work together. We're going to be able to obviously document my race, hopefully. So yeah, I'm just looking at trying to get him over for that, because that would be really exciting, and it'll just be good to see him as well. I haven't seen him since he was over here last year, quite a while ago. So yeah, that'll be nice. But I also want to touch kind of on the impact of changing from football. As I just mentioned, I only stopped football probably about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago maybe, max. So the transition from football to running / hybrid training that I'm currently doing now, what's the difference? What's my emotions been like? And those kind of things. We spoke about it briefly in the last podcast about football and everything. But I've also filmed a YouTube video about it. But this is more like the transition from football to running / hybrid. For me, football is something I've always done. It's always something, a part of me, something I've always loved. So with the running and hybrid training, it's always something I've also watched on YouTube. I've seen people doing it, and I thought, oh, I could do something like that. Like, it's really interesting. Like, you're just in your zone. You have to focus in your mind. You have to push through the hardest moments, those hard times. So I think that's the more exciting bit. It's not about the running specifically, although I am fit and it does help kind of with the run. Hey guys, I don't want to interrupt this episode, but yeah, gotta do what I gotta do. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you leave a comment if you enjoyed it. If you want any to give any feedback, even just leave that below.
We're open to everything. Join the Patreon, guys. There's going to be a lot more stuff on there. We want to hear from you guys as well. We want to get you involved. If you want to be beta testers to the SCULPTED app, let me know. I can make that happen. Try and get involved at any level. What we're doing at Live Free, guys, make sure you check what we're doing there. Liam's got his own personal YouTube channel. He's always uploading. I've got my own personal YouTube channel that I've started uploading twice a month now. It's going to be cinematic like I am now, right? I've got the light above, got a cool camera. That's what I'm going to be working on, guys. So make sure you follow Live Free Diaries. SCULPTED app. We're doing great stuff over there. Additionally, we want to grow this podcast, guys. And the only way we can do that is through your guys' help. So make sure you subscribe, listen to us on all audio platforms. We're everywhere. So make sure you interact with us. Make sure that you help us grow, because the only way that we can grow this podcast is through you. We'll get better guests. We've always had great guests from the get-go. But we'll get even better guests on. Production value will go up. I've got my studio, but we need to get Liam his studio, and the only way we can do that is through monetizing this platform. So make sure you do that, guys. And I'll get back to the episode. I'll let you go.
Yeah, I think the transition from football to running is a difficult one, in the aspect that, especially this week, having a lot more mileage, the last 2 days, 50Ks, it's taking a bit of an impact on my knees, which I've never really got knee pain before. It might be the new shoes that I've got. I'm going to try out my old ones, see if they feel good on Monday. But yeah, that's one thing, would be the kind of knee and leg kind of demand. It's very demanding on your legs compared to football. Obviously, football is very demanding, but it's a different type. It's not very impact when you're running on roads and kind of trails. You're doing more turns and stuff, and my body's been conditioned for that for the past 13 to 14 years. So yeah, there's that. Then there's also the gym side of it, which I really enjoy. I love going to the gym and kind of doing weights, getting a better physique, and trying to become the best version of myself. That's what this is all about. That's why I set my mind to this 100-kilometer ultramarathon, because I want to become the best version of myself, and I want to prove to myself that really, if I set my mind to something, whether it takes me a year, 2 years, 5 years, I know I can achieve it. And with the ultramarathon, I've set my mind to do 100 kilometers without really any training, like 1.5, 2 months of training. It's nothing crazy, especially switching from football, completely different demand on your legs, to then having to last 12.5 hours on your legs running uphill, up about 1.5K elevation. Like, it's quite demanding. So I'm excited to see the end result on the 15th of June. I'm going to be running that, and hopefully Nick will be here as well to document it. But going back to the physique side in the gym, it's definitely something that I've kind of gone over in past videos as well. But I just like going to the gym, making my body the best it can be, because you only get one body, so why not do everything you can to make it look the best, feel the best. For me, feeling is a massive thing. I want to feel energized. I want to feel like I have all the movement and the freedom in my body. I don't want to feel like anything restricts me. So for me to just say, okay, I'm going to go run out and go run 42.2 kilometers without any marathon training, and just go run a marathon at 3 a.m. in the morning and complete it in the dark, and then push through massive blisters that's lasted for over a week and a half in my foot, push through not knowing where I was going to run in that race, push through not having any hydration, push through literally snacking on a Nature Valley bar, which is dry as with no water. Honestly, it was, for me, another thing that I unlocked. I thought, okay, I've done that now. I can do something else. I can push through something else. So definitely looking forward to what's to come over these next few months, really, over the next month, because it's the 11th of May now. So by the time this video is out, it'll be like 3-4 weeks to go, and I'll be really excited. But next topic I want to move on to is kind of the people you surround yourself with. I touched on this in a YouTube video I did the other day. The people you surround yourself with is the most impactful thing that you will have in your life. So if I surround myself with people that are just in their 9 to 5s, they're happy with their life, they're kind of just going to the pub on a Thursday, Friday night, Saturday night, drinking, partying, get home at 1 a.m. in the morning, sleep, do the same thing the next day. Those people will have an impact on you. They will like rub off on you. You'll end up going to be like that. And if you don't want your life to be like that, you have to surround yourself with the right people, and the people that are not only going in the same direction you, but are also a step ahead of you. You don't want to have jealousy. You don't want to have resentment. You don't want to have those things, but you want to have people that are further ahead of you and that are in your circle. You don't necessarily need to be best friends with them, but they're in your circle and they motivate you. They give you ideas. They give you inspiration to drive you further. So for me, for example, I met this guy at the gym and he's got a Lamborghini. I saw him outside the day before and I thought, oh, like, what's he doing to have a Lamborghini? What must he be doing? So I thought the next time I see him, I'm going up to him in the gym. I'm going to speak to him, ask him what he's doing, like, see if I can get any tips from it, any inspiration, any ideas, like, boggled in my mind. And I went up to him the next day and I was like, hey mate, like, sorry to interrupt your workout, but I saw you get into your car today. I was just like, well, what do you do to be able to afford like that lifestyle and be able to afford a Lamborghini and those kind of things? And he's like, so I do property management and property development. So what he does is basically buys houses, refurbishes them. So let's say he buys a 100 grand house, puts like 20 grand of work into it, it's instantly worth 150, 175,000. So that's what he does. And he said to me, he doesn't ever sell them, but he holds them and just rents them out. So he's just collecting properties. And he was in his 40s, and I said, oh, how long have you been doing that for? And he said 20 years. And that was another thing that kind of boggled in my mind. It was like, he's been consistent with this one thing for 20 years and he's got to where he wanted to. And that's another thing, is consistency over time. There's everyone is wanting everything now. They don't want to delay gratification. So if you can have that delayed gratification of kind of setting aside your wants now to what you want in the future and just focus on what you want in the future and kind of dismay and disregard what you want now, that's where the most success will come, because you'll think, okay, I have this delayed gratification, and you have to work towards it. You have to kind of say no to these things along the way. But if you can have that delayed gratification to then push you to where you want to be in the future, that's where the real true success with. But going back to the people in your circle, I was like, oh yeah, okay, brilliant. Like, and I started asking him all these questions about property development and property real estate, because I'm so interested in that. I've always wanted to get into the real estate industry and kind of get my own property, rent it out, do Airbnb, those kind of things. So for me to meet him, it was like, wow, I've just met someone that's kind of so far ahead of me, and he's able to help me and kind of inspire me and give me these ideas. I was speaking to him about like mortgages and rent to rent and all these different things. And if I didn't go up to him and I didn't have the courage to go up to him and kind of get in his circle, then I never kind of had a little thought, oh, I can do this, I can do that. Because once he started talking about rent to rent and he started talking about like buying a house, doing it up and then kind of renting it out for even more, that really flipped a switch in my mind. It was like, right, like I can do this. Like it's not too hard. Like, so I then went away and I started researching houses, went to view properties in the middle of England and where he said he recommended. And it's, if I didn't do that and I didn't go up to him and I didn't try to be a part of his circle and try to get the right people in my circle to motivate me and inspire me, that's where I would down spiral. Because if I'm just going around and just kind of just being by myself or being with my mates from school and they're not really going anywhere, it's not really going to help you kind of later on down the line and kind of push you towards where you want to be. But having those people in your circle, like me and Nick, we're always driving each other and driving standards to work more and to achieve more and to have more success. So that's a big part of success and kind of achieving what you want to in your life. But going back to kind of the next topic, which is kind of the impact that the 100-kilometer ultra has on me. So there's a few different impacts. The first one is, I mentioned before, unlocking that thing in my mind where I know that I'm able to achieve what I set my mind to. I've always had these things. I've always had that in my mind where I achieve one thing, it builds up a certain level of I can do this. I know what I can do. I know if I say I'm going to do something, I do it. It builds up that kind of, in a way, just mental fortitude. Like you're saying you're going to do something. Yes, you might have to train and you might have to get better, but you're going to achieve it. You're going to do it. So that is one thing. But the next thing is kind of the impact it has on me, in terms of not only physically but mentally as well. Like that is one of the hardest runs I will ever have done in my life. Also, to have the achievement of being the youngest person in the UK to do it that's recorded. I've done a lot of research. I've seen someone doing a 250-kilometer run in the Sahara Desert, but they said they were going to do it for charity, and it was on the news, but there was no one who ever reported about the kid doing it and finishing it. And the 250-kilometer was over like 3 days. He said he was doing maximum like 2 marathons in one day. This is like 2.5 marathons in one day. So, well, in 12 hours. So yeah, no one has done this, in that sense that I've been able to research online. I've spent days researching, haven't found anyone. So there is a few people in different countries, and that's why I'm not saying worldwide, I'm saying the UK. So to have that as well is an incredible achievement, and that's why I want to document it. I want to get Nick over here to be able to help me with that, and he'll be a part of that journey. He's helped me in terms of many different ways throughout my business and throughout kind of mental conversations we've had together. We've had some kind of deeper conversations, talking about football, talking about life, talking about business, and really, really in-depth conversations that come out of nowhere, but are very valuable to the both of us, and we both get a lot of benefit from when we take away so much things from them. But what if I don't complete the 100K, 100-kilometer ultramarathon? Look, it is what it is. I don't complete it. I've documented it. I've wasted the money paying for it. I've promoted on my Instagram. I've brought Nick over to document that. And then there's that failure. There's the failure, yes, and that will always be in my mind. And I think if I don't complete the 100-kilometer in the time, I wouldn't even say the time. I'd just say don't complete it, because I've never done one before, so I can't say it based off the time. It's not really a failure if I'm still completing it within like 15 hours, let's say. But if I don't, then I'm always going to have that thing on my mind. It's always going to be on my shoulder, and I'm going to have to achieve it one day again if I don't. Whether I won't be the youngest maybe, but I'm still going to have to achieve the 100-kilometer mark, because I've set my mind to that now. And once I set my mind to something, I have to achieve it. Much like making my professional debut, I set my mind to that, and I had to achieve it before stopping anything or before kind of switching things. So what I set my mind to, I need to achieve. And if I don't achieve that 100-kilometer on the 15th of June 2024, then I'm going to have to do it another time. And I don't really want to be doing it another time. There is also another side of me that my sister sent me the other day, saying no one under the age of 26 has completed an ultra marathon, 100-miler or 100-kilometer under the age of 26 across 7 different continents. So I'm thinking, okay, let me do this first one, see how that goes, and I might potentially go into those ones. But that's for another topic and another story, because I want to make sure I complete this first one and see how that is. Because if I'm struggling, I can barely kind of even make it to that finish line, then it's going to be a tough kind of next 6. So I want to see how it goes with these first ones. But that's kind of really everything I wanted to cover today. Hey guys, I don't want to interrupt this episode, but gotta do what I gotta do. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you leave a comment if you enjoyed it. If you want any to give any feedback, even just leave that below. We're open to everything. Join the Patreon, guys. There's gonna be a lot more stuff on there. We want to hear from you guys as well. We want to get you involved. If you want to be beta testers to the SCULPTED app, let me know. I can make that happen. Try and get involved at any level. What we're doing at Live Free, guys, make sure you check what we're doing there. Liam's got his own personal YouTube channel. He's always uploading. I've got my own personal YouTube channel that I've started uploading twice a month now. It's going to be cinematic like I am now, right? I've got the light above, got a cool camera. That's what I'm going to be working on, guys. So make sure you follow Live Free Diaries. SCULPTED app. We're doing great stuff over there. Additionally, we want to grow this podcast, guys. And the only way we can do that is through your guys' help. So make sure you subscribe, listen to us on all audio platforms. We're everywhere.
So make sure you interact with us. Make sure that you help us grow, because the only way that we can grow this podcast is through you. We'll get better guests. We've always had great guests from the get-go, but we'll get even better guests on. Production value will go up. I've got my studio, but we need to get Liam his studio, and the only way we can do that is through monetizing this platform. So make sure you do that, guys. And I'll go back to the episode. I'll let you go.
It's only a short one because I didn't have kind of the necessities needed to film this, but I managed to get some different things out, and I hope you've kind of found a lot of value from it. There's a lot of key takeaways from here, and we're going to be taking this away for a document for my 100k ultramarathon on the 15th of June. Make sure you go subscribe to @theprofessionaldiary, which is where I'll be posting stories on it throughout my journey, documenting my training leading up to it, but also on the race day there'll be stories of me racing. I'll get my manager to put stories on and kind of keep you guys updated with how I'm going throughout the race. So that is this episode. Make sure you are subscribed to not only the Sculpted podcast, because it helps us. It helps kind of put the word out what we're doing, and we're only two young entrepreneurs kind of on our journey, and we're dedicated. So it helps spread the word in terms of what we're doing. Make sure you leave a like, comment, follow Live Free as well. I haven't spoke about Live Free in this episode, but it's another very impactful thing. I'm going to leave some news. There's some news with Live Free for the next episode with Nick. So hope you guys like this one. Make sure you comment in the comment section below. Nick, never miss an episode again. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.